Hi everyone, it's Kelly from Kelly's Bead Boutique. If you're new to my channel, I want to thank you for joining us today. Please make sure to leave me a comment. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure that you do so. And if you like this video, please make sure to give me a big thumbs up. Okay, so to make our project today, we're going to be using some 3-ply Irish wax linen. Now, if you do buy a kit, because this will be available in kit form, you'll get a total of 43 inches of the Irish wax linen. You're going to want to make sure that you take your two ends, marry them up, find the center, and cut that piece. I've only got half of that right now because I'm only going to make one pair of the earrings on camera. I also have a little pair of heart charms. These really nice little sort of an oval link that we have, and they're perfect for what we're going to do today. I've got a pair of ear wires. I've got some 6mm 18 gauge jump rings, and I have 2 different colors of 8/0 seed beads. And for tools today, you're going to need a pair of cutters or a really good pair of sharp scissors. You guys know I never have scissors, so I'm going to use my trusty cutters. I also want to have a pair of bent chain nose pliers and a pair of pliers. So let's get started. So not only am I a lover of all things leather, but you know, I really love doing things like macrame. I find sort of a rhythmic thing very cathartic, and it's just one of those things that I really enjoy. So that's what we're going to be doing today, a little bit of macrame. All right, so you remember at the beginning I told you to cut that 3-ply Irish wax linen in half. I'm now going to take that piece that I've got and I'm going to fold that in half because I do want to make sure that these are even. So I've got, I mean, it's out just a tiny bit, but I'm not going to worry about a little bit. And I just want to run it down to the middle so that I have like a little loop like that. Now I'm going to take one of my rings and I'm going to go down with my loop, and I'm going to take those 2 pieces and pull it through the bottom of the loop. And now this is going to create basically like a lark's head. And I'm going to put that in the middle like that. Now I'm going to separate those so that I have one on one side and one on the other. So now I do recommend that you separate your beads on this one. It's really easy to get carried away and keep going at the halfway point, and we don't want to do that. So what you're going to have is 5 beads of one color, that's your dominant color, and then you're going to have 4 beads of your other color. Once you've done that, you've got 5 and 4, then you'll know that you have to stop and you have to turn it over. Well, turn it around actually. So I would just pull out 5 and 4 so that you don't make the mistake of continuing on all the way, because then you're not going to have enough of the Irish wax linen. So I hope that makes sense. So the first thing that we're going to do is start with our dominant color. So we're going to start and stop with that color. So now if your end gets kind of blunted out a little bit, you just roll it between your fingers like that, and it'll create a little bit of like a needle. And now we're going to put our bead on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the end that we've got on the right hand side and we're going to go down through our ring, and then I want to pull it up through the middle of this loop. So I just pull like that, making sure that the bead is on the other side. And I want to sort of pull that up, and don't worry if it moves around a little bit because we can keep moving it. But what I want to do is have that sitting nice and neat on the side, and I want to have that fairly tight. So when I'm pulling, I'm not just going to pull like that. I'm going to hold on to it and pull, because you don't want to pull this frame out of shape. Now I need to do the other side of my knot. So I'm going to go up from the bottom, and then I just reach through the bottom of that and then pull that. So that will create another sort of like a lark's head, I guess. I'm the worst. I do all these projects and then I think, well, what is that called? Is that called that's not a square knot? What is that? I think it's still a lark's head. So, I have to apologize for not always knowing the names of all these things. I just know how to make some fun jewelry, that's all. All right, now I'm going to put one of my other colors on. And so I'm going to go down, and then I just pull it up through the middle, always making sure that that bead is on the other side there. So now hold on and give it a tug. Now I'm going to come from the bottom, and then I just reach up through the bottom and grab that. And there we go. So now you can see we're lining them up on the side. Now this is so simple to do. There's just a couple little tricks that you want to make sure that you're following. And one is that you're going to go down to start off with, pull tight, and then you're going to come up and then grab that. And you'll know right away if you've made a mistake, because what you can see in between, it's a little harder with the Irish wax linen. But there's like a little, you can see it right on this one. There's like a little bump. So you want to make sure that our bumps are coming up like that. So now we've got on our 3 beads. So now I'm going to go to one of my secondary colors. And I'm going to go down and just pull up. And then I sort of jiggle it, hold on tight. I'm going to go start from the bottom, and then I reach through, and now I'm going to tighten that up. And you can see that this comes together pretty darn fast. And I was going to originally do this with leather, and I thought, well, no, I think I'm going to do it with something a little less bulky. I wanted something that looked really kind of pretty, but a little less bulky. So that's why I went with the Irish wax linen. And we're just using 3-ply, although you probably could get 4-ply through here. But if you do buy a kit, you would get 3-ply linen, Irish wax linen. It's one of my favorite products because it has that grip to it. So I know I will get people asking me questions, you know, can I do this with Eslon, or can I do it with whatever? I always say give it a try. What I do know is that it probably won't stick as well. So that's why I like the Irish wax linen, because it has, I made up a word called gription. I always say it's got a lot of gription to it. Like it really just holds. It won't unravel. It won't come undone. Now also you'll see that this bead has popped over. So what you're going to do is I just take mine and boss it back to where I want it there. So always make sure your bead is sitting where you want before you tighten that up. So you can see I'm almost done on the one side, and I thought that I would have to like just kind of skip forward, but I managed to get that done okay with a little bit of chatter. You know, everybody complains when I chatter too much, but whatever. I think it's part of doing these videos. You kind of have to chatter, because a little bit of dead air would be, or a lot of dead air would be boring, right? All right, so here's my last one on this side. So I'm going to go down, and don't worry about where they're sitting, because we're going to make them go where we want after. And you can see that one's wanting to come around to the wrong spot. So just boss that bead back, just push it on the other side there. Now I'm going to come up. Always make sure you're going down first and then up through the middle on the last one. Okay, so now you can kind of, you know, futz around with it a little bit and get everything where you want it. And that's what we've got happening. So now we need to start on the other side, but I don't have enough here. And I wanted this to be, this is going to be the top part of my earring. So what I need to do now is start down here. But what you want to make sure is that you don't turn it over. It's a whole lot easier to do it this direction, but then you're going to have your knots going in 2 different directions. So we're going to come down here and start it. It's a little confusing if you're not sort of paying attention. So I'm going to pull my 5 and my 4. I think it's pretty easy, but it's just, you're sort of doing it upside down. So I'm going to put my bead on, run that down to the middle, and I'm going to still do the same thing. I'm going down and then through the center there, but it's just kind of upside down looking to me. At least in my brain, I was like, oh, this just seems wrong, but it makes it so that your knots go the same way. So there. So and what we want to have down at the bottom here, so I'm going to get this kind of lined up now, is I want to have a little gap. Just kind of move these down. It's getting a little crowded up here. So I want to have in the center of this oval ring, there. You can see how you can still slide them around nicely. I want to have this knot at the center of the ring down here, and I want to have the knot up there in the center. So now I'm going to go to my secondary color. Slide that down, go down, and you can see it's not hard. You just kind of grab the end. You don't have to, you know, have this in any, it doesn't have to be tied down or anything. I just find doing it in my hand is the easiest thing. And make sure when you're pulling on it that you've got hold of that whole ring, because you don't want to have that ring go out of shape. So you guys know that I enjoy laughing. The other day, somebody left me a really rude comment. Actually, 2 in a row, but she did leave me a rude comment. And I normally don't say anything on my videos. I'm just like, whatever. And sometimes if they're really ignorant, I'll just delete them. But I clapped back a little bit and I was kind of not so nice to her back. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I just leave people and ignore them? Or every once in a while have a little bit of fun? I couldn't help myself. I don't know. Sometimes people just think that their opinions are so important. And even if they think, I don't know, do they not understand that it might hurt somebody's feelings? You know, like I do this for free. Yeah, you know, I get paid a little bit to make these videos from AdSense, but I'm not getting rich making these. This is all stuff I used to charge for in my stores. So this is a lovely lady came on and said, you know, everybody needs to remember that Kellie's doing this for free. A lot of people charge for the kind of stuff that I give away for free. So I thought that was very nice of her to kind of, you know, see that I am trying really hard to give you really good content. And that was very nice to have somebody, you know, have my back. And I know that you guys all do. So I'm yakking too much and I'm like, okay, which way am I going? So again, make sure that you're still following that pattern. And now you can see that we've still got all of our bumps up on the top, which is exactly what you want. And we're almost done there. We have one of our main colors. So go down and hold on to that and then go up. So each stitch is going to have the two stitches to it. And then our secondary color. So you can see by separating them like that, it helped my brain know how many more I had to put on there and which one went where. Because I do find sometimes when you're doing this, you don't think that you are going to have enough room, and then there's too much of a gap, like it'll do one of those kind of things. It'll move down. And so it's nice to know how many you're going to have to put on. We will give you a few extra in your kit, but you're going to have, down one side, you're going to have 9, and on the other side, you're going to have 9, and they're going to be 2 different colors. So you have 5 of, or I guess 10 of the dominant color and 8 of the non-dominant color. All right. So that's as fast as that was. So now what I want to do before I go any further is just kind of maneuver them around. I want to make sure that everything's kind of sitting where I want it to. And I just sort of, you know, play around with the beads and get them looking quite, you know, I want them to sort of be standing up. And I think that looks really good. So now what I'm going to do, and this is why I love Irish wax linen, is I'm going to just tie this. Now I want to make sure when I'm making this knot that the knot is on the top and not in the front. So Irish wax linen really sticks together, which is exactly what we want, but sometimes it goes where you don't want it to go. So I want my knot to be right on the top, and I'm pulling really tight. Now I'm going to do like, you know, the right over left and left over right. So I'm just doing opposite there and pulling that down on the top. And then I'm going to pull this super tight. Now I'm not pushing on that ring. Oh, mine broke. And that never happens, but that's okay because it actually broke right where I wanted it to. But I've never had Irish wax linen break before. So all I'm going to do is just, you know, it actually broke right where I wanted. That is funny. Well, there's a first for me. That is that literally, I've worked with this stuff a lot and I've never had it break. So I guess don't pull so hard that you break it. So then what I do is I just kind of take my pliers and sort of burnish that down a little bit. So you will see like a little bit of a nub, but I'm going to show you a little trick to cover that up. So what you want to do is just have that so it's nice and tight. Now, if you're worried about it, you could put a drop of glue. Just take a little bit of GS Hypo and put a little drop of glue on there and let it dry really well before you move on to the next step. But I never use glue when I'm using my Irish wax linen. But then again, I've never had a break either. So, you know, I guess there's always a first. So now what I'm going to do is take my pliers and put them on one side of my jump ring and then my bent chain nose on the other. And I'm going to open that up. And I'm going to put my little heart down at the bottom here. So where the knot is going to be the top of your earring. So, and I want to make sure that I'm remaining aware of where these little bumps are. So they're just like the little bump that you see on top. Like you can definitely see the top side and the back side. And the reason is when I put my ear wire on, I want to have both earrings going the same direction. So now I'm going to kind of hide that business that we did up here with 2 jump rings. So it gives it a little bit of a bulkier kind of heavy metal kind of look, and it will cover up some of the business of those knots, and it will take your eye away from focusing on the knots. So it kind of serves a dual purpose. Now we're going to take another jump ring, and I like to use these heavy gauge jump rings. I don't want anything falling apart. So I just want to make sure that those are in the middle, and they'll slip down over a bead there, but we can boss that back. There we go. Make sure that that is done up nice and tight. So I sort of jiggle them together. Now making sure that this is the top. Yes, that is the top. I'm going to open up my ear wire, and then I'm going to put that so that those little bumps are on the front. And then I want to sort of tighten that up. I just sort of push that together like that. All right, so I'm just going to clean up, and then I'll show you the couple pairs I have here. All right, so there you go. There's the completed earrings. We've got the 2 different colors that we'll have available in kit form. We have our matte metallic metals, and we have our Picasso pair. So these will be available in kits. You just go down to the description box below the video, and it will take you to a fully secure website. There's a link there, and it'll take you right to the earrings. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please make sure to give me a big thumbs up, leave me a comment, and tell me which one you liked the most. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I really hope that you do, and I hope you come back. I want to thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.